To the left of screen. Interchange. Blumfield, Lucas, Calthorpe for Essendon. Ackermanis and McLean. And Leppich for the Bears. It's Calthorpe. You saw Berbakoff a moment ago running off. Final series underway. Second qualifying final. Essendon kicked to the right of screen after O'Donnell won the toss. First tap to Clark, dropped it down in front. McRae, long kick towards goal. It's off target, but bouncing just inside, so fair result for the Bears. And a boundary throw in. Left forward pocket, Craig McRae, who slipped over in the shower last week and cut his foot and couldn't play. In second season. I'm working with Ian Robertson tonight, who knows what finals football's all about. Being a triple premiership player at Carlton. Wanganeen cut off by McRae. What a start. Might have kicked it. He has. No, hit the post. Sorry. Looked a goal. So McRae with 2 touches inside the first minute, and Wanganeen having his handball cut off. So the Bears settling very early. Shot from behind the goal that Essendon is defending this evening. O'Donnell to do the kicking in.
It's an interesting look at the kick-in situations. Essentially, the Bears are just manning up their direct Essendon opponents, as we can see from this shot behind the goals.
O'Donnell short, and finds his man, and away goes Barry Young. Gives it off.
Yes, Young, who had an eye injury towards the end of the game last week against Footscray. His kick goes back towards the centre. That's probably an indication of the nerve showing for the Bears. 2 players clashing. Lambert's kicked to half forward. They're on their own. McRae drops the mark. The handball comes clear to Fletcher. Fletcher is too far out to score. Mark taken for Essendon on their full-back line by Hardwick. Well, he's gone to ground and just looking a little dazed there. It was a good mark in the finish by Damien Hardwick. Gives the hand pass away. Running across the goal square is Mercury, just looking a little undecided, then goes short, and that's all right. O'Donnell is marked. He's still inside the defensive 50-metre area, and he's being called to play on now. Short kick is okay. Mark is taken by Mercury. Tristan Lynch, number 42 for the Bears. So players still finding each other out early in the game. Olorenshaw is marked. Ashcroft looks as though he may be his man at the stage of the game anyway. Kick towards Alessio, couldn't take it. Fletcher again, second possession already. Kick forward by Lappin. Lappin's kick should be marked. Oh, it's dropped there by Olorenshaw. The ball's still there for the Bears. Hart, he knocks it forward. It's still inside the field of play. Back goes Barnard, and he's quite prepared to just take it over as Merritt just calls on the action to present himself. Boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the Bears' goal.
Kennedy starting on Hurd. Hurd playing a full forward, Lee, early. It's a boundary throw in deep in Brisbane's attack. Fletcher out of the air. Is it touched off the boot, or is it out of bounds on the full? It's out on the full, so another Brisbane
touch off the boot. The central umpire indicating there that
Fletcher.
The boundary umpire did declare, Bruce, that it was out on the full, but umpire Dennis Rich just telling him that it was touched.
Looked like it, didn't it? So boundary throw in. Left half forward for the Bears. Clark. Somerville at the back. Doolan at half-back. Little one towards the boundary line. Lloyd and Champion matching up. Boundary throw in right in front of our commentary position.
Yes, as you mentioned, James Hurd is basically playing full forward, virtually one out in the forward 50, a fairly unusual role.
Well, Gary O'Donnell, who won the toss, had no hesitation kicking to the main scoreboard end. Ashcroft kicks it forward, and McRae is in front of Hardwick, and he's taken the mark on his chest. He kicks in towards centre half forward. Fletcher, punch away. Wallace it was. The ball now spills for Dion Scott. Little handball. Look for Darryl White. Very athletic, but Harvey's there just to defend, and taken over by Hardwick. And the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Early in the game, McRae's pace has troubled Hardwick.
35 metres around from the Bears' goal. Fletcher and Scott, free kick. And it's going to the Bears, holding on. Well, I'm glad if I know. I quite wonder. You have another look here, and
oh yes, I think Dustin Fletcher grabbed hold of the left arm when he could see that he was being out positioned, but they are critical free kicks in the context of a football game, aren't they? Early in the game.
It could give these boys a bit of a boost, couldn't it, if he can kick this goal?
Absolutely.
Because they just look a little nervy. And Dion Scott has kicked the first goal of the final. 1-1, Brisbane leading Essendon, yet to score.
Well, we mentioned it. We'll probably see a replay again, possibly, of that ruck and infringement from just another angle. And I think we saw on the previous angle that the left arm of Scott was being held by Fletcher. So I think it was a correct umpiring decision. Good start for the Bears.
Bears by 7 points. Dion Scott with the opening goal in this final. Clark and Somerville. Clark drops it down. Fletcher, Hurd having a run in the centre. Doolan keeps his head low. Fletcher again. Voss, first time we've seen him, to Champion. Champion back to centre half forward. Merritt caught underneath it. Scott, Fletcher. Now McRae, very damaging. On his right foot, goes for goal. Just misses. But is there a free kick coming down here? And it's going to go to the Bears against Wallace, I think, to Lynch, who's just going to let him know about it for hanging on. So Essendon, this is a very bad start for them now if Lynch can kick this. See the angle, good shot of it. Not particularly difficult. You could imagine Lynch just running around a little improvement, though Wanganeen is so close. He's just out of our shot at the moment, but he is very close. Lynch in his 150th game, his first final tonight, at 28 years of age, kicks the goal. Well, Lee, if you were the coach right now, you'd be pretty disappointed. 2 free kicks, 2 goals.
Well, absolutely, and Hardwick is being interchanged now for Calthorpe. Yeah, McRae's just too quick for Hardwick. He's been good. Very bad free kick. I mean, the ball was going through at a very high angle. There was no need for any contact at all between Wallace and Lynch. So, really, 2 goals to the Bears from 2 free kicks. It's those kind of unnecessary free kicks that end up costing the game. And now the home crowd get involved in the game with the Bears starting so well.
Peter Somerville and Matthew Clark to contest this centre bounce. Probably favours Somerville just ever so slightly. Kicked a little bit out of it by Denham. Struggle now, but Fletcher has been quite magnificent. The hand pass to Voss. Voss's kick. Dion Scott. Handball over the top. Sits nicely for Hart. Back to Scott. Scott's kick towards full forward. Out in front is Lynch. You'll get another one. Lynch, 2 goals in a minute. Of course, that's Alistair Lynch. We have Tristan Lynch in this Bears side as well. Brisbane lead 3-1. Essendon yet to score.
Well, I saw the Bears played last week and they were horrible. But I tell you, this week it's a different game. It's a long time in football, 6 or 7 days. And the 3 players that didn't play last week, or 3 of them, Lambert, McRae and Scott, have all been in the action very early in the game. I mean, it's really an excellent start by Bears. And Hurd is on the ball, the standard move when Essendon are in trouble.
2 goals to Lynch, 1 to Dion Scott. So critical now for Essendon. They trail by 19 points. Voss to Gowers. Gowers long, penetrating again to full forward. Barnard back there, I should say. Ola Renshaw looking for the boundary line, gets it. But they're under great attack now, this Essendon defence. Ola Renshaw, Brian Wood out to talk to him. Now the National Sportsbook odds 11-8 on Brisbane and evens Essendon, so this will be the closest betting game of the weekend. Front spot Clark, taken by White. Handball very good. Dion Scott 50 metres out. Long kick, won't be a goal. Lynch has got it again. Well, he is turning Wallace inside out. This is a major concern now for the Bomber defender in hierarchy.
Just good body use, wasn't it? The ball was kicked in long by Scott, and Wallace was in the front position. He was okay in that department, but once the ball went over his head, Lynch just held him under the ball, put the 2 hands up, and grabbed it quite easily.
He's kicked 3 goals in his last 4 going into the final series, so he's had a little drought for him. He's about to kick his 3rd goal, perhaps, in the first half a dozen minutes of this final, though that is not a good attempt. He just kicked it too high and much too far. So a let off.
Well, 10 minutes of the game and the Essendon haven't been forward of the centre square.
They've had 27 possessions, Brisbane already, only 9 to Essendon.
And Kevin Sheedy, with that centre square that you set up before the game, Lee, has worked with Clark, and the midfielders being able to work off him so far. Still early days. O'Donnell from the back pocket.
I reiterate that Gary O'Donnell won the toss and had no hesitation going to the main scoreboard end. There is a little bit of breeze blowing, but it's really inconsequential. O'Donnell has marked the ball, having kicked in, found Young back to O'Donnell, and then he finds Harvey. So 4 possessions to Essendon, and they're still only 35-40 metres away from their defending goal. Kicked away by Young, and Fletcher is marked on centre wing. He's perhaps behind the wing. Goes long, a good penetrating kick by Fletcher, and the mark has been taken by Chris Scott. Gee, there's plenty of cheers and flags and support for the Bears. The kick across the half-back line taken by Voss. One of the fancies for the 1996 Brownlow medalist, Michael Voss. The kick, Ola Renshaw quite prepared to top it away. And he looks back. The umpire gives him the benefit of any doubt. Lepich, McLean on the bench for the Brisbane Bears. It's at right half forward for the Bears. Right in front of the players' races here at the Gabba. Kicked inside 50. Underneath it there, Wanganeen. Hart applies the pressure. Fletcher again, another effective hand pass out into the path of Hart. Lynch can't get back, and it's helped over. There's a free kick to Essendon on this occasion, and it will go maybe to Dean Wallace against perhaps Alistair Lynch. Wallace indicating that he's going to kick to the members, the Bears Social Club side of the ground. Craig McRae in the foreground, and no one really to kick to. Goes very short, extremely short. Gee, you wonder whether there's any percentages in that, because it's still only now 35 metres from the Bears goal boundary throw in.
They're playing Russian roulette in that defensive 50 Essendon. They are chipping it around, trying to get it out.
Fletcher at the back. Quick kick by Hart. Buick's got it at centre half back. Quickly on, here's a chance for the Bombers. Harvey, if he gets the right bounce. Back inside, Doolan, good take through the centre. Now delivers the centre half forward. Nice looking kick, that's better. Somerville out in front of Dick Foss. So they're changing Alessio and Somerville onto Dick Foss. Goes to the pocket, very wide, wanting Lloyd. Champion belts it to the boundary line and out of play. So very wide there, Somerville, not attacking the goal front at all.
There was just no one there making a reasonable lead for him to kick it to.
3-1 Brisbane. Just joined us, Lynch a couple. Dion Scott kicked the first. Lynch had a shot from the pocket and missed everything a moment ago. Somerville taps it out. O'Donnell, well played. And the captain has kicked the captain's goal. Good effort by O'Donnell against the tide, so the Bombers go forward and score. It's 3-1 to a goal.
Well, you've got to say that's percentage forward play. We're at the 13-minute mark of the first quarter. That was the first time Essendon have been in their forward 50 and they've scored a goal from it, and what a critical one it was. And O'Donnell, the captain, we talk about captain's goals, have never been more worthy of that title and that goal against the flow of play to get the Essendon scoreboard ticking over.
Back in the centre, another very good bounce of the ball. Taken away from Wanganeen by Fletcher. He's been quite fantastic early in the game, and that pass is a beauty onto the chest of Alistair Lynch. Fletcher has had 6 possessions for the Brisbane Bears. Lynch going for goal number 3. Not even up to the halfway mark yet of the first term. Alistair Lynch, 150 games. The kick across the face. It does score just a behind. Plenty of support for Brisbane. Well, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? Their first home final, and deservedly so. They've played very, very well for the last couple of years. It's all happened for Brisbane since moving from Carrara to the Gabba. Short kick in, been well marked there by Calthorpe. and looking to run on. Brian Sheen obviously had blown time on. That does not allow David Kelthorpe to play on, so he's got to go back and kick over the man on the mark.
Playing so short at the back, aren't they, the Bombers? And that one they got away with. Calthorpe running away and then coming wide, one-on-one situation. Clark, now Fletcher could kick a goal from here, hooks. So Brisbane are letting the Bombers off the hook here, 3-3 to a goal. 6 shots to 1. Lynch has had 4 shots for goal for 2 goals. 1 complete miss and a behind. And Fletcher, that one was gettable, but a strange choice again by Calthorpe.
They are really trying to chip the ball out of defence. They've got no confidence of any long targets to clear the 50-metre area, so it's going to test the skills in this part of the ground by Essendon.
Well, O'Donnell even shorter, this time to himself, and runs off Lynch. A second bounce, in trouble. Oh, that was hard by Merritt.
Certainly a high tackle. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Looked like Gary O'Donnell saw Roger Merritt coming, but couldn't quite avoid it completely.
It's a fantastic player, O'Donnell. He'll shake it off and now gets a little back by running away from Merritt. Takes another bounce and another bump as he kicks to centre wing. Mark taken by Scott, who started well. Dion Scott to Lambert. Lambert inside. Gowers got a reasonable bounce, just held up. Buick plays it in front, free kick.
Gee, Gowers was stiff. He didn't get one.
Buick from centre wing as well as Buick.
No, well, you saw the jumper of Buick, didn't you?
No one plays for a free kick better than Darren Buick.
Such a cheeky footballer and so successful over a long period of time. O'Donnell.
Good kick.
Yeah, beauty. Should have been marked.
Tackle.
And didn't get the possession, James Hurt, but that's the first time he's actually touched the ball in the first 16 minutes of the game. We don't see that very often in Essendon games.
Hurt himself, Craig Lambert, in effecting that tackle on Mark McCurry, and the umpire bounces about 55 to 60 metres from the Essendon goal. Taken away by Tristan Lynch. He's kicked towards half forward. Punched away there by Fletcher. Gathered by Darryl White to Dion Scott. In turn, Adrian Fletcher. The kick may have been touched off the boot. McRae gets his left foot to it. Kicks it towards full forward. It bounces away from Barnard back there. And he hurries it over for a rush behind to Brisbane. So
Alistair Lynch off the ground interchanged. Maybe it's just to give him a few minutes breather or something. It doesn't look injured.
I think...
Well, we've known he's had this fatigue syndrome for a few years and he's not completely through it, so I think it maybe is just to give him a spell.
He did pull up a little awkwardly after getting a free kick where he kicked a goal.
Harvey's kick good, out wide, finds Doolan some space. Doolan going forward. Target Hurd, playing it in front, handball back to Doolan, didn't get to him. Gowers over the top, bounce half forward, Champion at it for a moment. With Doolan, they'll be okay. So the Bears 3-4, Essendon a goal. Fletcher and O'Donnell running together. O'Donnell's had 9 possessions and Fletcher 8. So they've been key players early. Trying to crash through his Hurd. Doolan, high tackle. Essendon playing the percentages here. They've only been to attack really strongly on one occasion and scored. And Brisbane has had so much of the footy, yet only leads by 16 points. Doolan goes to the pocket. Was looking, I think, for Lloyd, but Young was able to chip across in front of Voss and take the mark at about 52 metres. Somerville wants it long and high, and he's going to kick it right there. Somerville getting set, pushes. Dick Voss bounces it through. And it's a behind. Barry Young, good kick from a long way out. Somerville getting into Dick Voss's back, but no free kick. Here's Lappin from the back pocket.
So the Bears will just about go right the way down the ground here. Lappin's kick out wide, not clear by Hart. There's a free kick. It perhaps hasn't really advantaged Brisbane because Hart's tap on. They nearly were going to carry the ball forward. This is Sean Hart for Brisbane, one of their very good players this year. Kick to half forward, Harvey, punched also by Lambert. Gathered by O'Donnell, not quite, and he disguised that very well. The Essendon captain takes it over for a boundary throw-in. Absolutely beautiful night for a game of football. Some statistics there of the respective coaches, John Northey and Kevin Sheedy.
Essendon have to be pleased with this last 10 minutes. I mean, the way the Bears jumped out of the blocks, they've stabilised the game the last piece of the play, and they've just gradually got to wind the Bears in.
Yes, the third occasion these two coaches have clashed in a final series. They played together in a premiership at Richmond. Good handball by Gowers. Fletcher, handball out wide. Dion Scott, left-hand handball to Lambert. He'll try and turn his man around on his left foot, but cut off by Olorenshaw.
Didn't go far enough.
So it'll be a bounce. Ashcroft onto him. Gavin Dodge just having a word to Ricky Olorenshaw, who just put the footy in Marcus Ashcroft's face for a moment. Wasn't much in it. Scott tries to lay it down at the back. Here's Ashcroft. Left foot. Doesn't go all that far. Buick playing at the back. Trying to cut it off. Here's Chris Scott. Handball terrific. Hard under pressure. Kicks the ball out on the full. Is it coming back here? Hart. Wanganeen. And Wanganeen to take the kick. So Essendon, as Lee said, hanging on pretty well here. They're 1-1, Brisbane 3-4. Wanganeen had a very good year. Brownlow medalist. Good fly at the back by Shea Cockatoo Collins. Clark gives it up. Alessio, handball back. Couldn't quite find his target. Buick tries to weave his way through. Gets it to Denham.
Very well done there by Darren Buick. Denham's kick, that's a free kick surely. And it will come back because there's no advantage there for the Bombers. Cockatoo Collins about to be run down by Dion Scott, but the ball coming back to Matthew Lloyd, and he'll kick from behind the centre. He gets good penetration with the kick. It'll land close to half forward, punched away from Hurd. The crumbs are gathered by Chris Scott. His hand pass, Tristan Lynch, and he gets through some just congestion there quite easily in the finish. His kick lands close to the centre. Alessio was hard. Denham, handball, McRae, kicked it Essendon's way, and a scramble for possession. It's McRae. Oh, he just absolutely tricked Wanganeen then, and the kick is marked by Gowers. Now, Andrew Gowers is a very good kick of the footy. He certainly will score.
And that's McRae's sixth kick, and he has such a penetrating kick, both with distance and accuracy. When he's getting a bit of the ball, McRae gives a tremendous positive drive.
Gowers from 50 metres. Gets onto it, gets the distance, but not the accuracy. So the Bears now have had 8 shots at goal. They lead 3-5 to 1-1. Alistair Lynch has kicked 2, and Dion Scott kicked the first goal of the game.
O'Donnell again doing the kicking in. He's the goal scorer for the Bombers. Denham provides a short lead. Now Brian Sheehan asking O'Donnell to go. Comes wide, looks for Young. Gee, they're taking some chances at the back. Taken by White, clever, short to Merritt. And they're playing such a dangerous game with these kickouts, and even field kicking in defence. At best about a 55-45 in their advantage. Just, it's got to be turned over, and again it has been. White clever there.
Yeah, after that first kick in, the Bears have gone to his own defence, and Essendon really have been very shaky in their ability to maintain possession with that short kick in, and obviously with the turnover there's so many Bears players free, and Merritt was the recipient of the kick.
Should go 35 metres out straight in front. He's got it. Sounds a bit strangely, but I think they needed it. 4-5 to 1-1 with all the play they've had.
Well, they've had all the play. They've certainly been much further better in general play than they are ahead on the scoreboard. But in all reality, 3 of the goals have been by Essendon mistakes. That kicking error we saw there, once it didn't find the target, there's heaps of Bears players alone in their forward 50. That boundary throw-in free kick and the free kick on the goal line. So really some bad mistakes by Essendon have contributed to Bears goals.
So the bounce back at the centre. Oh, up sensationally high was Clark. Wanganeen gathers, kicks with the left foot, but the mark safely taken by Tristan Lynch. Probably an underrated player because he's got a little awkward kicking style. It lands at centre-half forward, brilliantly gathered by Chris Scott. Couldn't break clear. Now Fletcher again. Gee, their midfielders are absolutely slaughtering Essendon. Chance here for Lepic. Merritt. Lepic still, grabbed by the leg. Gowers, snapshot by Andrew Gowers. Across the face of goal and bounces out for a boundary throw in left forward pocket for Brisbane.
He's like the jumping kangaroo, isn't he, Matthew Clark? He just goes straight up. He doesn't jump off his opponent. He just an upward jump.
Cockatoo Collins on the bench. 5 3/4 minutes left. It's all Brisbane in the first term. Dion Scott gets his left foot to it. Kicked away by Calthorpe. Harvey has to punch from behind. Really sets it up for these midfielders again, but it's the big ruckman, Matthew Clark. The kick was smothered off the boot. Ola Renshaw to Barry Young.
Takes Ashcroft on, kicks very wide to centre wing. Lynch and McCurry. Tristan Lynch, McCurry with him and out of play. He's done a good job, Lynch, in his rookie year. Played 2 senior rookies, really, with Dick Foss 25 years of age and Lynch 23. And interstate this year, the Bombers have struggled. The only draw was at the Sydney Cricket Ground earlier this year. They've lost in Adelaide, they've lost also in Brisbane, and they lost in a great game in Perth to West Coast, but no wins so far interstate. Hurd coming forward at 45. Long ball round the body, good looking kick, close. Got it. Well, they have managed to stay in this game, the Bombers. They're 2 champions, O'Donnell and Hurd, have kicked goals against the flow, 4-5 to 2-1.
Well, absolutely. As you mentioned, Bruce, the ball just hasn't got down this part of the ground, but when it has, Essendon have been able to get a couple of goals on the scoreboard to at least make what the margin only, where are we? 16 points. Yep. I was doing my mathematics looking at the scoreboard then.
The score never comes up on that scoreboard when you want it to, though, does it? 4-5 to 2-1. Brisbane lead, 2 goals to Lynch, and the others all singles. Free kick. It's going to Brisbane to be taken by Clark. Goes straight towards goal. In the direction of Lepic. The bounce is a little awkward. Fletcher. Out comes Merritt. Tough stuff. McRae. Kicks to the goal square. What? Gee whiz, that would have been an absolutely miraculous mark if Darryl Whitehead had been able to grasp that.
And I think we could say that Roger Merritt straight-lined the ball on that occasion. His body just went straight through it.
Kick in short, taken by Fletcher. He's got a player wide, near the wing. It's Wallace, and he's taken the mark. So eventually Essendon have been able to get the ball away from that full back line with just a little bit more ease from their previous 5 or 6 attempts. It's in the centre of the ground. Lambert tackled. Ball spills for Ola Renshaw. Gowers there for the Bears. Still the ball in the congestion. Chris Scott strong. Gets the ball out wide. This is Fletcher again. Handball. Grabbed there by White. His hand pass too severe. Buick. Ola Renshaw gets it into the clear. Lloyd. Just a fraction slow. Tackled by White. Ball spills for Champion. The kick off the side of his boot. Good distance. Punched away by Lambert. Gathered by McRae. No free kick. He arched his back looking for it. It's punched forward for the Bears. The Essendon defence under pressure. Wallace and Merritt meet. Handball by Lambert. Hart taken out of it. Wanganeen's handball. Young. Back to Wanganeen. It is frenetic. Fletcher's little kick, and Essendon have got it through O'Donnell.
Big play for the Bombers. O'Donnell chips to centre wing. Dick Foss attacks strongly. Couldn't take the mark. Good play. Calthorpe held him up. Denham turns backwards. Wants O'Donnell. Gets him. Another quick kick. Ackermanis couldn't quite take it off him. Out wide. Buick running towards the boundary, out of play. Gee, what great football Merritt's got up. What fantastic defence there by Essendon. Under terrific pressure. Here's Wallace and Merritt. 36 years of age, Roger, and going to ground. Wallace holding his ground. Somerville, Dick Foss, the ball ran away. Buick. Bombers searching for a late goal to close this game up. Ashcroft from half-back kicks to centre wing. Good effort by Barnard to knock the ball away there from Dion Scott, and a boundary throw-in. Full house, sell-out here at the Gabba. Their first final. Lynch back onto the ground. Merritt's come off. Lynch with 2 early goals and then a couple of misses. And the Bears lead 4-6 to 2-1. Centre break stats. You can see Brisbane with a big advantage in the first quarter. Tristan Lynch. Lambert. It was a good handball because he had Lambert moving to his preferred side. Kicks the ball at half forward. Calthorpe, well done. Kept it in front, had to bang it on the boot. Champion and Lloyd. Champion probably having his best season. Lambert ducked, did it well. Handball under pressure, free kick coming back to Lambert in the centre square, in the heart of the square, and the Bombers trail by 17 points.
Gee, they're a little bit stiff there, Essendon. I guess if the free kick's there, you've got to give it. Lambert's kick out wide. The Bombers were nearly away from the centre of the ground. This is Tristan Lynch. Short kick into half forward and standing his ground and taking a pretty good mark in the finish is Doolan for the Bombers. He's between back pocket and left half back. The player on the mark is still inside the 50-metre area. So Doolan's kick goes out towards the wing. Good contest for the mark. Hurd gathers, then gets it to Barnard. Barnard has a look downfield, but it's a very, very ordinary kick. Bombers a chance here. Knocked away by Lloyd. Lappin grabbed a little high. Underneath that surely is a Bears free kick to Lambert. He has been terrific, Lambert, also in the early part of this game. And Roger Merritt with Michael McLean, two of the real veterans of the Brisbane Bears side on the bench at this stage of the game.
Gee, White's taken a beauty. Third man in line. Spectacular grab. Ashcroft's kick was quite penetrating. White goes short. Once Lynch has got him. He's going to kick from about 52. Big kick this one because he started brilliantly, Lynch, and he's missed a couple. Can be a bit wayward with his kicking.
The kind of magic that Darryl White could do. Third man up, grabs the mark, and then just set the ball out in front of Lynch. He's just such a dangerous player, White. And a lot of possessions in a game, but really very dangerous when he's near the ball.
Lynch from about 54 now. Hooks it badly, and it's out on the full. So he has been a bit wasteful. Their star forward, there's Mercury off the ground. Lynch 5 shots for goal in the opening term, and just 2 majors. Somerville to bring her back in.
In the last minute before quarter time, Somerville goes short. It's close to the line, and it is just over now. I think Voss trying to keep it in, but the boundary umpire will throw it in. John Northey and Scott Clayton, the coaching staff, a couple of them, main coach and chairman of selectors, coming down close to the boundary line. Buick just hammered into the ground. Hart, disciplined kick to the front of the square, knocked away by Wallace. Chance for Doolan, good tackle Ackermanis. Wallace, shocking kick. Calthorpe under pressure, takes it over. And maybe the right play. Essendon under enormous pressure across their full back line. Kevin Sheedy and Danny Corcoran down in readiness for the siren to sound the end of the first term. Calthorpe, just seconds left. Calthorpe's kick, they keep possession. The mark is taken by Lloyd. 50-metre penalty, is it? No. Champion, ever zealous in minding the mark. Kick by Lloyd, clean mark, no free kick against Chris Scott. He's disappointed. Obviously the umpire in a reasonable position for that. He sees a little push out. Ola Renshaw made it look a little worse than it was. And there is the siren to end the first term. And Chris Scott just having a few thoughts about that free kick. Fortunately for him, it was not a penalty that counted for much. And at quarter time, Brisbane lead. They're 4-6-30, 10 scoring shots. Essendon 2-1-13, margin 17 points in favour of the Bears.
I think the Bears would have to be a little bit disappointed with the only being 17 points in front. They've had 10 scoring shots to Essendon's 5, but even above and beyond that, they've been very wasteful. A couple of out of bounds on the full. I mean, really, they could very easily have had a 5 or 6 goal lead. So from Essendon's point of view, I think they're happy to go to the break with only the 3-goal deficit.
The score at quarter time, Brisbane 4-6-30, Essendon 2-1-13. 4-6 to 2-1, the second qualifying final between Brisbane and Essendon. Brisbane third on the ladder, Essendon in sixth position. Somerville won the tap. Clark quickly. Ackermanis is playing in the centre at the start of the second quarter. Back to half forward. Good go between White and Fletcher. Doolan getting back to help out in the back pocket. Then works it to the boundary line. Brisbane will claim a free kick. Doolan finding touch, so to speak, and it'll be a boundary throw in. So a few touches Doolan early. Shea Cockatoo Collins, Scott Lucas and Mark McCurry. Mark McCurry, interestingly, still on the interchange bench. He's playing deep in defence early in the match. He's been a great goal kicker for Essendon, not only this year, but in finals. So a bit surprising to see him out. Barnard, ex-Hawk, having a good year. Runs straight into Dion Scott and gives a free kick away. See that he was probably a bit upset a moment ago, and foolish kick. Scott's kicked the full forward. Lynch, Wallace crashes through one and then belts the ball back, gets the ball right into the heart of the centre square, over the top of Hardwick and Lloyd onto it. Champion quickly onto him. Lloyd's handball ineffective. Champion back, good. Kennedy, wonderful play. Lloyd to smother, and then on the up to Somerville. Somerville's awkward left footer over the top. Alessio with a height reach, well done, kicks the goal. Well, Lee, and what we've seen tonight, I reckon Essendon will win. It's just falling for them. It's 3-1 to 4-6.
Well, I think it was Lloyd, wasn't it, who did that smother? I was just trying to look to find his number from a distance, whether it was Blundford. Fantastic smother. I mean, the ball was going to be 50 metres down the Bears' end, but it ended up in the Essendon forward line and resulted in a goal. Really, it just should go down against his name, Lloyd. Fantastic effort, that part of the ground. That's kind of desperation Essendon need to get back.
Well, the Bombers have got their third goal on the scoreboard. The margin just 11 points. It was all Brisbane in the first quarter. And we'll just wait and see if they haven't capitalised. Is it going to be costly for them? Kick forward towards half forward. The mark taken by Gowers. Saw him talking very interestingly to the coach. His kick towards full forward. No free kick. Bombers will tidy it up from the full-back line. Barnard, no one really to kick to. Bounces and half-back. Voss, Lynch gets around and then kicks in short. Well done. Mark is taken by Dion Scott.
Wasn't that fantastic awareness by Michael Voss? It was almost like eyes in the back of his head. Just before that incident, he tapped the ball back into Lynch's path, and really great finish by Lynch to percentage play to give the ball to a player who can have a set shot at goal.
Dion Scott kicked the Bears' first goal of the game. He's kicking from about 45 metres. Gets the distance, hits the post. So another disappointing result for Brisbane. They go forward with much efficiency, Merritt on the bench, but not able to slot it through the big sticks. Fletcher gets good distance. Kicks in the direction of Harvey, and Harvey does it well in the finish. He's taken a very important mark. He was outnumbered 2-1, but he's got the ball behind the wing. Now he plays on. Kicks long in towards centre half forward. Marking contest, the ball spills to the back. Nearly taken by Lloyd, missed by Hardwick, gathered by Champion. Champion across the half-back line. The mark is taken by Fletcher.
And pushes short to Voss at half-back. Voss starting to get into the game. Chris Scott will have a paddock, can run away, goes now, and then delivers to full forward, wanting Lynch. Cutting it off though, Doolan. Essendon getting back in numbers and doing well at the moment. It's 19 to 31, 3-1 to 4-7. Ben Doolan cutting across in front of Lynch and Wallace. And the Bombers are right back in this. Got the best defence in the league in terms of points against them. Brisbane going into the final series. Ashcroft to full forward. Fletcher, White not contesting that time, and Fletcher taking the mark. I think Kevin Sheedy will be pretty happy at the moment. Things are working for the Bombers. Ola Renshaw wide. Comes back onto the old trusty left. It's made a late dash for the finals, Ola Renshaw, an important player. Kicks into the centre. Scott at the back. Had a couple of grabs, has got it. Quickly wants to play on. Gets Fletcher, who's had a lot of possessions at centre wing. Goes to half forward. McRae, who was the best forward in the first quarter, takes the mark. Had a brilliant start to this game. Oh, just finds his man. It's Voss. And a kick from about 55, goes very short. McRae, who's about 10 metres closer than he was originally. He does kick the ball a long way, McRae.
I don't think he'll have any trouble with the distance, Bruce. It's just a question of accuracy.
Kicks from 52. Got in close to the man on the mark, obviously, and smothered. So a litany of errors now from Brisbane as they go forward. So many opportunities early in this game, and yet they lead by just 2 goals.
Justin Blumfield, number 34, spent most of the first term on the bench. Now looks as though he may be manning up on Michael Voss, Dion Scott and James Hird. Hird gets it down, Doolan, Ola Renshaw. Quick hands by the Bombers, Harvey. Now Wanganeen running through centre-half back. He straightens up and then kicks poorly in the finish. For a man of his class, he just put it straight down the throat of Richard Champion. Now the Bears will come back. The rebound is going to be very costly. Lappin's got the football. Lappin's kicked to half forward. Well done by Sean Hart. Just used the body on Dustin Fletcher. Takes the mark and plays on. Kicks towards full forward. Marking contest. No, there was no contest. Lynch just out positioned by Dean Wallace. He's been called to play on. Handball Ola Renshaw. In a spot of bother. Handball Fletcher. Little kick pretty good. Finds Hird. Hird goes long. Kicks in the direction of Lloyd. Lloyd and Champion. Well done, Lloyd. Kept his footing and then kicks towards full forward. Bouncing awkwardly off to the left and out of bounds. Boundary throw in left forward pocket for the Bombers. They trail by 12 points. It is 4-7 to 3-1.
James Hird's gone for centre-half back for Essendon at the moment, and Matthew Kennedy's remained at the other end. Basically, he's opposed now to Dion Scott.
Saw Mercury a moment ago, just waiting to come out. Alessio worked underneath the ball. Voss takes it. Tackle on him okay. Kennedy, Alessio tries to break through. Couldn't quite. Hardwick snap around the body. And that's out of bounds on the full. Essendon in attack. Scott quickly plays on. Chris Scott kicks to half-back. Champion and Lloyd. Good take, Champion. The Lloyd's had a couple of good touches in this term as well.
Bruce Dion Scott off and Justin Leppich back into the fray.
Champion hugging the line, lovely kick. Darryl White. Half forward, here's Leppich. Hird, well read by McRae. Decided against the handball to Ackermanis. Belts it high. Lynch and Wallace. Wallace having a very good patch at the moment. On top of Lynch after Lynch's excellent start, and belts it out of play.
I wonder if that interchange of Leppich on for Scott is a reaction to the fact that Hird is now playing centre-half back, trying to have a more mobile centre-half forward to cope with Hird's speed.
Boundary throw in, missed everyone. Kicked out of there by Dustin Fletcher, back towards the centre. Blumfield couldn't take the mark, couldn't gather the crumbs. Leppich there, overrun by Mercury. Well done, Blumfield. Handball, Leppich has got the football. And the umpire will bounce. Just forward of the centre, not quite up to centre-half forward for Brisbane. They lead 4-7 to 3-1. They led 4-6 to 2-1. So there's only a goal being kicked in this term by Essendon and 1 point kicked by Brisbane. Ruckman to go at it. Clark gets his... Well, I thought he was in reasonable position, Matthew Clark, but the umpire deems that as an infringement. He nods in appreciation, which is obviously fair enough, and the free kick will go to Somerville. Somerville for Essendon. Goes long, inside 50, punched away from the half-back line. Gathered by Fletcher. Umpire deems that as all clear. Hardwick gets it out to Buick. Buick on the left foot. Little kick is good, and Lloyd in front of Champion is marked about 53, 54 metres from goal. Matthew Lloyd, haven't seen much of his long kicking ability. He's an exciting young player, but the nod of appreciation, Bruce, is that you fancy his ability to kick the distance from here. So we'll see if he can kick this. It's only 6 points in it. Lloyd, he gets it high in the air. It goes close to the line. It's punched away for a boundary throw in up against the behind post in Essendon's left forward pocket.
The question isn't of Champion's body strength versus Lloyd's slightly more agility at ground level.
Alessio, Somerville, Clark, well done, but can't get through. The tackle on him okay. Lynch, Dick Foss, Buick. Dick Foss wanting the line, finding it. Tanny Dick Foss, first season player at Brisbane, 25 years of age, as we said earlier tonight. Old rookie, but what a good year he's had. Buick traps it. Lynch was able to smother Ashcroft. Lambert put Kennedy under the hammer. Little kick taken by Hird. Hird with a chance. The champ sets himself and tries to bring it back with a check side from centre half forward, improvising a behind. So Hurd with 1-1, Essendon 3-2 to 4-7. It was 4-6 to a goal at one stage. So they're going all right, Essendon, as a champion kicks the ball to centre wing.
Kicks it away where it's 2-on-1 favouring Essendon. The mark has been paid in front to Matthew Lloyd. I thought it was all right. The Bears crowd, well, it's very much one-sided. Lots of boos there for that decision. Lloyd's kick towards half-forward. Good mark. Terrific mark taken by Alessio, standing up straight. And the big body was hard to budge.
And he's opposed to Danny Dixford, got a very big height advantage here, Alessio. If the ball is directly above their head and it's not so much a question of movement, a question of reach, then Alessio's going to be pretty dangerous in that particular contest.
Alessio has already kicked one of Essendon's 3 goals. Can he kick a second one? It looks pretty good. It's a goal to the Bombers. Alessio's second goal. And there is only one kick in this game. 31 plays 26.
Yes, and it's really just goes to show the scoreboard's the only thing that really matters. In general play, we know the Bears have had the ascendancy, but on the scoreboard, Essendon are right in the game, and they've sort of stabilised after that first blitzkrieg by the Bears in the first part of the game, and are now going along pretty well.
Bombers closing. Alessio with a couple of goals in the second quarter. Clark again winning the tap. Shaycock to Collins. Tackle on him was fair. Ricky Olorenshaw, I should say, on a bounce. So Clark continuing to get his hand on it and winning the centre breaks, the Bears, but Essendon right back in it now. They've done a great job. Somerville taps it back. Voss, so accurate to Champion, who straightens up on the left, kicks the ball to the 50. At the back, Calthorpe able to tee off with it. Harvey has to sit. Good hands. Doolan, Buick running from Calthorpe. Buick away with a bounce. And a second. May take his man on. A third at 54 metres. Goes for goal and kicks it. They're in front. He's always on for something like that. And Essendon with a rush have hit the front. 5-2 to 4-7.
And as soon as Darren Buick gained the ball, Brisbane, as we see at the back of the centre square, was a question. He feinted the hand pass just enough to make Champion sort of come away from him, and a good long kick from the 50-metre mark. Very dangerous finisher, Darren Buick.
Gee, it was a beautiful kick, wasn't it? He just measured it beautifully, didn't try and kick it too hard. 5 goals now to Essendon. They lead 5-2 to 4-7. Centre bounce. Fletcher nearly tackled by Buick, but still able to shrug that and kick it forward for Brisbane to centre half forward. Up high was Hurd. Now Lepic, the crummer. He's got the ball. He's outside 50. Can he give the hand pass? Oh, reminiscent of a game here a couple of weeks ago. Straight in goes Justin Lepic. Goal of the night so far. Great goal kicked by Justin Lepic. A single-handed performance there. And he gets the lead back for Brisbane. They lead 5-7 to 5-2.
Well, I must admit it didn't surprise me one iota that Lepic went this play. Dustin Fletcher didn't seem to expect it coming, but I think it was always a fair chance. Lepic likes to hold the ball out. Ball can come back, as we saw him do it on the against the man on the mark in one game up here early in the year. But really great individual play by Buick and then Lepic for these last 2 goals.
5-7 to 5-2. This game's come alive. Lepic's doing what he did against Collingwood and feeding the ball out and then kicking the goal. Ashcroft caught up by Buick. Suddenly the tempo has risen as they go blow for blow now. Much more even contest. 5-point margin. Clark, what stamina he's got. We've seen him this year go all day. He's going to need to, because the Bombers have got Somerville primarily, and then they've got Alessio to throw against him. Hardwick, fresh air shot, not happening. Here's Voss. Under pressure, well done though. His vision is immaculate. Gives it to Kennedy. Kennedy inside. Wanganeen, well played hard to push forward. Doolan has to ride it. Under pressure now. Wanganeen goes to ground. Hurd on the up. Terrific handball. Calthorpe away. A kick towards centre wing. Outnumbered Mercury. Well played. Buick's hands were excellent. And then just waited and gave it to Doolan. Doolan gave one dummy off and then pushed the half forward, wanting Hardwick. Well played by Lynch. Hardwick struggling early, goes to ground. Lynch at half-back, holds the footy up and gets to Lappin. He can run away, Lappin. Likes to play on normally. Then measures the kick to half-forward. Good kick to Leppich. At the back, Fletcher fumbling a little under pressure. And fortunately for Fletcher, Ackermanis ran it out because that might have been the play that Fletcher was looking for. Boundary throw in. There's Hardwick up on his feet. It's 37-32.
Hardwick going to ground. Tristan Lynch keeping his footing. Very important in today's football. This is Adrian Fletcher for the Brisbane side. He's kicked towards... Oh, great leap and mark to Leppich. Geez, figured in goal of the night. And that, at this stage, would nearly be classified as mark of the night.
Well, I mean, really, Leppich, we've seen him do it up here, just sort of turn the game with a 10 or 15 minute burst. Really just couldn't get a sniff of the ball last week. He's playing on James Hird, and John North instructed Leppich to play deep in the forward line, pretty much to play as a second full forward. And on the lead there when the ball carried long, he was in front and marked.
Leppich kicks for goal and puts it through. 2 goals in 3 minutes to Justin Leppich. Leppich has kicked Brisbane's 6th goal. They lead 6-7 to 5-2.
Yes, mate, just before that situation happened, John Northey had pushed Leppich deep into the forward line, as I mentioned, to drag, I think, Hird away from the half-back line. If there's a centre-half forward designated for the Bears, it's probably almost Craig McRae playing in that part of the ground, supported by Darryl White. So interesting to see what Essendon will do with James Hird.
6-7, 5-2. Leppich, a burst player, swings the game in 3 minutes with a couple of goals. Harvey just holds it up. Handball by Denham, chopped off. Lambert to full forward. Leppich and Hird. Doolan's got it in front. He's cut across a couple of times tonight. Doolan courageously pushes to half-back. Ola Renshaw. So now it's Essendon's turn to be under great pressure and regroup. After they kicked 4 goals without an answer, Brisbane come back with the last 2. Ola Renshaw to centre wing. Clark worked under the ball by Somerville. Lynch, who's played very well. Handball inside, excellent. Taken by Kennedy. Kicks the ball inside 50. Leppich, well done, Hird in the front. Takes the mark. Gives it away. Wide by Doolan. Fletcher onto it now.
Fletcher's got the ball. He's been forced to go back and kick over the man on the mark. Cockatoo Collins, who came on the ground at the expense of Barnard just before Justin Leppich kicked his second goal, as Mark kicks in towards full forward, 3rd in line. It's nearly the mark. That's a push in the back maybe. And Barnard, who's back on the ground, giving the free kick away. Champion, his kick out wide. It's been taken by Lynch. Tristan Lynch getting a little bit of the football. He's had 9 possessions. Buick and Ashcroft. Sean Hart takes it over, and the boundary umpire will throw it in on centre wing, right down in front of our commentary area. Hardwick is off the ground for Essendon. Buick not able to gather it, but Voss can. Voss running and then kicking rather awkwardly in towards full forward. And that ball, a bit difficult there for Alistair Lynch to grasp. It goes through for another boundary throw-in, but on this occasion it is well within scoring distance for Brisbane. Michael Magic McLean. Brisbane veteran, you would have to say. Not many games this year, but giving him a chance to play in the finals. Diving on it as Doolan. That's a bit risky, but the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt and will bounce about 45 metres from Brisbane's goal.
I think I mentioned what would Essendon do with James Hird. I don't think they want him on the full back line, and Paul Barnett has gone back onto Leppich. Hird back into the Essendon forward line.
Ruck contest, knocked over by Darryl White, not taken by Denham, gathered by Voss, dragged off the footy. Gee, they're in a lot of strife there, that Essendon defence. The Bears forwards working industriously at half forward, and the umpire will bounce about 35 metres from the Brisbane goal. They lead 6-7 to 5-2. It's an 11-point margin.
Fantastic play by Voss a moment ago to hold up the Bomber player coming away. Now he's gone for holding the footy. Unlucky probably there. Didn't have a lot of time. Blumfield wide. Hird centre wing. Interesting to chart his course tonight, wouldn't it? To see where he goes. Hird. Somerville worked underneath it. Dick Foss goes to ground. Alessio over the top. And it's going to be a
I
bounce.
was going to say, if history's any guide, Bruce, you'll see every blade of grass on this ground, the way James Hurd plays. Interesting, when he dropped forward there, Richard Champion picked him up, but now they've swapped over and Matthew Kennedy, his designated opponent pre-games, picking Hurd up again.
Deep into the second quarter. Couple of goals in it. Blumfield, well done. Here's a chance. Bombers, surely a goal. Hurd onto it and kicks his second. Oh, what a player he is. He's irrepressible, isn't he? 6-7 to 6-2, and Essendon back within 5 points.
And a good ruck contest here. I think Essendon had basically had all the forward space forward of the play, and as soon as there was a quick kick, it was all the Essendon players. I think there's one thing in football, players generally run harder forward towards goal than they do back in defence, and the Essendon blokes were the guys charging forward. Hurd the one to finish.
2 goals to James Hurd, 2 goals to Stephen Alessio. Ruck contest won by Brisbane. Down goes Fletcher. Doolan the tackler. The ball spills for Doolan. He can't get the ball away though. Back to the centre. Handball out to Buick. Buick running down the ground. Kicks to half forward. Hurd just misjudges it. Cockatoo Collins skillfully gets it back. Look for Lucas. He's still got it. Tristan Lynch has got in. And Cockatoo Collins is penalised.
Robbo Somerville's badly cut in the centre of the oval, right in the heart of the centre square. He'll have to go off. He's got a really nasty cut across his nose.
Lynch's hand pass to Dick Voss. Dick Voss into the middle of the ground. And the mark is taken by Hart. So the umpire just holding up play now as Peter Somerville does stride towards the interchange.
Normally they wait till there's a ball up or a boundary throw in for the blood rule. I've very rarely seen play stopped in midstream for a player to be interchanged because of that blood rule situation.
Lynch also going off for Brisbane. He's struggling now, Alistair Lynch, isn't he, after his great start. Wallace has been right on top of him. Dion Scott going to fall forward. There's Sean Hart. Just a repair here with the boot. So what a time now. There's Peter Somerville, who's been badly cut. Let's have a look at here. He's bleeding profusely, as you can see.
I'd say a clash of heads with his own teammate.
Yep.
What a way to get cut.
So they're going to have to arrest that bleeding, and as you can see, it's pouring out of their number 1 ruckman. And,
that's pouring's the correct word, isn't it, Bruce? We see here as he comes down, it's a clash of heads. I think it was Gary O'Donnell.
So Hart to take it. Just defensive side of centre. Floating kick. Lands fortuitously. White just trying to be a little too cute. Harvey turns it over. Gets to Alessio. Alessio back towards Hurd. A very vacant forward line. Hurd's got it. Cockatoo Collins. Good finisher. 40 metres out. Keeps it low. Kicks it through. They're in front again, the Bombers. Well played. Hurd is starting to cut them apart again. 6-7 to 7-2. Essendon back in front.
Yes, I mentioned James Hurd hadn't touched the ball up until the 17-minute mark, I think it was, of the first quarter, but he's got 10 possessions now and starting to work his way into the game. Cockatoo Collins, he hasn't touched the ball much so far in the game either, but it really is now a goal-for-goal game. It's really anybody's ball game.
Essendon lead by a point. 3.5 minutes left in the second term. Alessio just that little bit taller than Peter Somerville. Making a contest at the centre bounce. Fletcher, that's Dustin Fletcher from half back. The race is on here. You've just about back James Hurd. He's got the football in front of him. Doesn't decide to give it the hand pass away. Kicks to the front of the goals. Cockatoo Collins nearly grabbed it. Is the ball still in? It is. And the Bears' defence under pressure as champion just holds it in, and that really looked as though it went over for a behind, but the goal umpire very close to the scene there, and umpire Brian Sheehan will bounce. Only 12 metres away from the Essendon goal. Alessio taps it out wide. Ackermanis smothered off the boot by Buick. Boundary throw in. 2 3/4 minutes left, and the boundary umpire will throw it in. It's about 15 to 20 metres around from Essendon's goal. They lead this match by a point. They lead 7-2 to 6-7. They trail 2-1 to 4-6 at quarter time. Kick forward. It's another goal to Essendon. Kick by Darren Buick. So they now lead the game by 7 points, the Bombers.
And Hurd and Buick, 2 goals apiece. And he just is a fantastic goal kicker, Darren Buick. You give him a little bit of space in that forward 50 and really just got such great control of his kicking, whether it's laying the ball across the boot as he did on that occasion. Very, very dangerous small forward.
What about Somerville, Dipper?
Yeah, he's got a broken nose, Bruce. We saw him come off the ground and he was bleeding quite heavily.
Thanks for that, Ashcroft. O'Donnell, now Gowers, going forward. Leppich attacking at the back. No Crummers. It's been a bit of a problem for the Bears in the second quarter. Fletcher bangs it back. Gowers has got it and should kick a goal. He's going to play on and deliver to Leppich, who bounced out and then bounced back in. Well, Gowers was well within kicking distance. He was only 35 to 40 metres out. But Leppich, with the chance to kick his third goal and Brisbane's third goal in this quarter.
A bad clearance out of defence on Essendon's behalf. Went across goal. When you do that, you've got to make sure there's a teammate on the end of it.
Big kick for the Bears against the flow. Leppich, it looks good, he's got it. No, hitting the post, so for the third time tonight. They've hit the post, Brisbane, once in the opening quarter and now twice in this term. There's Lynch looking on. It's all right, Leppich. Oh, short, cut off again. Chance for Olorenshaw. Mercury, back. Well played, O'Donnell. That's excellent football to Cowthorpe. O'Donnell took a hard one behind play. Fletcher the target. Champion at him hard. Fletcher stood his ground, has got it. It's Fletcher. Be careful, Champion. It'll be 50. Hopefully the Dennis Rich will give him the benefit of not having heard it. Gee, O'Donnell was good, wasn't he? A moment ago under pressure.
That was really cool in a crisis, wasn't it? In that situation, Essendon were under intense pressure in that part of the ground.
I thought Blumfield was all right too for a young boy. He was in that action as well.
In fact, it was again the short kick was Russian roulette from their kickoffs.
Fletcher to centre half forward. Alessio with a height advantage when he's on Dick Foss, but Clark there. Buick's kick. Gowers with Lucas. Ball going to ground. Voss overran it. Unusual for him. Well played, Champion. Very well done. Gets it to Hart. High ball. Essendon have got numbers. And Fletcher plucks it out of the air. Wide against the tide. Fletcher's kick to Harvey. Here's the chance.
Harvey has taken the mark. Looking to play on. Doolan's created the loose player. Goes in short. Very risky again. Kick for Wanganeen wasn't all that good. Wanganeen goes after it. Voss was the Brisbane Bears player that intercepted. And the umpire will bounce between centre and centre half forward, favouring the Bombers. 34 seconds left in the first half. Peter Somerville, well, he'll have half time now to be worked on, so we should see him back in the second half of the game. It's at centre half forward for Essendon. A struggle here. Ashcroft dispossessed. Cockatoo Collins gets his kick away. The kick was probably smothered. Champion over the top of Wanganeen. James Hurd still got the footy. Blumfield further to Lucas. Lucas's kick off the boot smothered and forced over for a boundary throw-in. So lots of pressure being applied by players all over the ground. Both sides having a real good go at it. And at this stage of the game, the Bombers lead by 6 points. They're 8-2 to 6-8. Boundary throw in, left forward pocket. Not clear. And for Brisbane, they can perhaps breathe a sigh of relief. Essendon in attack in the dying seconds of the first half. The siren to end the first half, and Essendon lead 8-2 to 6-8.
And we're really seeing a contest. I think that's what we love, and particularly in a finals game. I mean, obviously the Bears just jumped out of the blocks in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game, but Essendon stabilised the ship, got in front, Bears got in front again. Essendon go to the half-time break with a 6-point lead, and it has really been a fantastic contest. Not that pretty, because there's a lot of pressure on players, both physically and mentally.
G. Harvey, a 3-time premiership player then with James Hurd. They shared one in 93. Michael Voss, quiet first half by his own standards. We've seen him do this in the past, be a slow starter and come rushing home. But this game up for grabs. A great performance by Essendon to claw its way back. And at half-time they lead by a goal. It's 6-8 Brisbane, Essendon 8-2.